is talking, Mary. The tree is talking.
Tree? I am no tree. I am an ent.
Tree herder. A shepherd of the forest.
In the deep, shadowed reaches of Middle-earth's ancient woodlands, creatures of immense age and wisdom stand silent as the seasons pass them by. They are the Ents, the shepherds of the trees, living beings who straddle the line between nature and legend. As timeless guardians of Middle-earth's woodlands, their presence evokes both wonder and sorrow. Yet, their tale is not one merely of stillness, but of loss, love, and war. From the primordial days of Arda's creation to the Third Age's decisive battles, the Ents have witnessed the passage of ages like none other. Their story is one of majesty and tragedy, bound by their slow, deliberate lives and their eternal duty to protect the wilds of Middle-earth. To understand the Ents is to delve into the very roots of Tolkien's world, a journey as vast and tangled as the great forests themselves. Welcome back. Today we're diving into the dark forests of Middle-earth. Let's get started. The origins of the Ents trace back to the very foundations of Middle-earth. They were brought into being by Eru Ilúvatar at the request of Yavanna, the Vala, who cherished all growing things. Fearing for the safety of her beloved creations under the tread of dwarves and other beings of stone and iron, Yavanna pleaded with Ilúvatar to grant the trees their own protectors. Thus, the Ents were awakened during the years of the trees, long before the first sunrise over Middle-earth. They were not mere creatures of wood, but beings of spirit and earth, infused with the strength of stone and the gentle grace of leaves. Under Yavanna's guidance, they became conscious beings, tasked with watching over the great forests of Beleriand, Eriador, and beyond. Ents, unlike other beings, were not born of flesh. Instead, they emerged from the natural world itself, shaped by their connection to the forests. They grew slowly, learning speech from the elves, the first creatures to walk under starlit skies. The elves taught them language, not of haste and brevity, but of patience and deliberation. The Entish tongue, a complex flowing speech that mirrored the very nature of the Ents themselves.
Why are there so few of you when you've lived so long? Are there Ent children?
Urarm, there have been no entings for a terrible long count of years.
Why's that?
For centuries, the Ents lived in harmony, their lives intertwined with the wild beauty of Middle-earth. But their tale is not without sorrow. As time passed, a division grew between the Ents and their female counterparts, the Entwives. The Entwives were drawn to the open lands where they could cultivate the growing things that pleased them, gardens, farmlands, and orchards. Unlike the Ents, whose hearts were bound to the untamed wilderness, the Entwives preferred order and gentleness over the wild majesty of the forests. They wandered eastward, establishing their own domains in the fertile lands of what would later be known as the Brown Lands. This separation was not one of animosity, but of differing desires. However, the loss of the Entwives would soon transform from a simple division of purpose into a tragic mystery. For during the War of the Last Alliance and the subsequent devastation of Sauron's lands, the gardens of the Entwives were utterly destroyed. The Ents searched and called for their lost counterparts, but they were never found.
We lost the Entwives.
Oh, I'm sorry. How did they die?
I know.
Their sorrow was immortalized in the melancholy songs of the Ents, a wound that time itself could not heal. This poignant loss would come to shape the Ents' attitudes toward the outside world, making them more withdrawn and reluctant to involve themselves in the affairs of other races.
The Ents have not troubled about the wars of men and wizards for a very long time.
The Third Age brought a long period of solitude for the Ents. They retreated into the depths of Fangorn Forest, one of the last great woodlands remaining in Middle-earth. Fangorn himself, also known as Treebeard, emerged as the oldest and perhaps the most formidable of all Ents. His deep, rolling voice and imposing presence would later captivate the hearts of both viewers and readers alike when he encountered Merry and Pippin in Peter Jackson's cinematic adaptation. Treebeard's life during this time was largely one of isolation and contemplation. He remembered the ancient days and mourned the loss of the Entwives, his voice heavy with grief whenever he spoke of them. His reluctance to act, however, would soon be challenged by the growing darkness in Middle-earth. Before we continue with the video, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of April. I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Thanks for your time. Let's keep going.
Saruman. A wizard should know better.
The Ents' reluctance to engage with the outside world would be shattered during the War of the Ring. The incursion of Saruman into Fangorn Forest, through his ruthless deforestation to fuel the war machine of Isengard, became the breaking point. Merry and Pippin's arrival in Fangorn marked a pivotal moment. Their accounts of Saruman's betrayal and destruction roused the Ents from their slumber. It is here that one of the most powerful scenes from the film adaptation comes to life: the last march of the Ents.
Last march of the Ents.
Led by Treebeard, the Ents stormed Isengard, their wrath unleashed upon the stone walls and iron forges. This moment, with its thunderous charge and sheer destructive force, remains one of the most memorable scenes in Tolkien's story. The Ents' attack was not simply an act of revenge, it was a desperate stand to protect the natural world from the encroaching shadow of industry and war. Though the Ents emerged victorious against Saruman, their victory was bittersweet. Their numbers were dwindling, and with the Entwives lost, they faced inevitable extinction. The Fourth Age, the Age of Men, held no place for the great guardians of the forests. Treebeard himself acknowledged this melancholy truth when he parted ways with Merry and Pippin. His deep voice rumbled with sorrow as he spoke of the world moving on, leaving the Ents as little more than memories rooted in ancient songs and the rustling of leaves. Their story is one of beauty and sadness, of love lost and battles fought in desperation. As long as the tales of Middle-earth endure, so too will the memory of the Ents, the timeless shepherds of the woods who once walked and spoke with the power of mountains and the grace of forests. Their echoes live on, intertwined with the enduring mythos of Tolkien's world. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and like for more videos like this. It's a small click for you, but it means a lot to me. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you on the next one.